You're breathtaking.
How did you get your girlfriend? We lived in the same neighborhood for years but never really noticed each other until my dog got her dog pregnant. Best wingman ever. Picked up 3 chairs at the same time. B.I.G. man. My wife introduced her. Calm down guys. The wife introduced herself. Hated each other at work for over a year. Bumped into her on a night out and she looked sexy as hell. We danced. Kissed. Got a taxi home together. No funny business. I dropped her off and stayed in the taxi. Met up for a date a few days later and that was over 10 years ago. We've now got 2 kids and get married next year. I was at a country bar/nightclub. I saw this group of girls across the way. I picked out prettiest of them and took my chance. Walked up to her, lifted my hat, gave an ear-to-ear grin, and said, "Ma'am, would you like to dance with me?" She giggled, looked me over, and said no thanks. Ouch, my prode. But then one of her friends downed a Jigger bomb, slammed the glass down, burped, and said, "Frick it, come here cowboy. I'll dance with ya." And we did. Spent the night getting completely shit-faced and dancing until my calves were on fire. She came home with me and we had really fun sloppy sex. Next morning she got dressed and said, "Hey, is this a one-night thing or do you want my number to do it again?" Glad I got her number. We've been together 6.5 years now. I was walking around at a football game and my friend was walking with this really cute girl and he said, "Hey, my name. My friend thinks you're cute, you should date her." And so we did. Humor. It all started with a few jokes and we had a laugh. 6 years later she's my wife. Sense of humor is hands down the cheapest, easiest way to make a really good impression and have people like being around you. It's not what you do or say that people remember. It's how you made them feel. Make people feel good around you and they'll want to be around you. Women included. We started as friends. I didn't pressure her into anything. And after 26 years she kissed me. Sounds like the quickest way. I was in a nightclub for a friend's 19th birthday. Hadn't really been pursuing girls as I was happy just having pints with the guys. Around 2 a.m. I see this girl on the dance floor and my brain just goes ding ding. Now I had recently read in a men's magazine that when you first make eye contact with a girl, you have to be decisive and go over there and introduce yourself without hesitation. Because if you hesitate or shy away then you look low confidence or not fully interested and she will be less receptive to your advance. So with this magazine advice in the back of my mind, I said to myself, do it. I didn't take my eyes off her. I walked straight across the crowded dance floor, maintaining eye contact. So I get up to her, and I hadn't planned this far in advance. I had no line to deliver so I just kind of said hello. Luckily she said hi and we ended up making small talk. I didn't know how to seal the deal but somehow ended up giving her a hug, which then turned into a kiss. Then I realized my phone was dead and I had no way to take her number. Luckily my friend the birthday boy was on hand and she entered her number into his phone for me. A couple of days passed and I texted her to ask her out to the cinema the following Wednesday night. And we hit it off from there. We are now together 13.5 years, are married for the last 5.5, and have 2 children and a dog. My babushka introduced me to her. I didn't know her but we had a friend in common that used her own wedding as a way to play matchmaker between us. She organized a game where each guest was paired with another one and every duo had to take a silly picture with a small prize for the silliest one. Here is my conversation just after meeting her. Me? So we have to take a silly picture. Do you have an idea? Her? No. We can do whatever you want. Me? What about a picture where I pretend to strangle you? Her? Oh no. That would be mean. Me? Okay then. So what about a picture where I pretend to frick you in the ass? Her? Okay. I was in love. Every single girlfriend I've ever had approached me. I'm 28. Last girlfriend was at 19. Girls just stopped approaching so I guess I'll die single LOL. From the wife. I met her at a friend's picnic. Well, first, I was really impressed that you baked. I made all the desserts for the party, and I liked that you showed interest, but not desperation. You were respectful and polite, and you showed me that you listen and are attentive. When she looked cold, I offered her a sweatshirt. I asked about her dog, and the next time we saw each other, I gave her a pack of his favorite treats. What impressed me most is how fearless and friendly you are with strangers. You talk to anybody and make them feel comfortable and appreciated. I met her a while ago and asked her on a date. She, obviously, said no because she literally just got engaged. Years later I ran into her again and found out her marriage ended. We got to catching up and things just happened. I was a lot more confident, funny, and charming back then though. I had a shit ton of charisma and I did very well with women. I'm a shell of who I once was unfortunately. I'm anxious and shy. I never know what to say anymore because honestly, I'm scared how people will react. I don't know what happened to me. Because Tinder fricked up actually. We both had our distances set to 10 miles max and we live 30 miles away from each other. We tried to figure out if we were anywhere near each other when we matched, but there's no way it should have happened. A year and a half later and we're still going strong. Saw girl on Instagram. Messaged girl on Instagram asking for a date. She said yes. We'd never spoken before then, but I figured frick it. Worst thing that can happen is she says no and I go and jerk off like I was going to anyway. We met freshman year of high school. I asked her out a week before homecoming and we went together. That night she broke up with me because I didn't dance with her at all. Valid reason, to be honest. A year later I get her a nice necklace for Valentine's Day and we end up walking back to her place later that day. Mutual acquaintance pressures me into asking her out at that moment. So she says yes, and then before she goes inside she kisses me and runs in for the night. A month later she breaks up with me again. 2 more years go by and I have a night of liquid luck where I am the most charismatic, smooth motherfucker on the planet. End up playing every card right that night. Flirting, humor, just enough contact. And then when I leave her house at like 1 to 2 a.m., I kiss her deeply and just leave. A week or two goes by and we're officially dating. Been together ever since and we're coming up on 6 years of being in an official relationship now. Couldn't be happier, smiley face. Obviously there's a ton of details missing in my timeline, but that's the bare minimum. Truly a roller coaster of relationship drama mixed in there. My boyfriend skipped gym class to sit with me in the hallway while I studied. All he did was flirt and try to talk to my shy ass. I'm glad he did. He makes me laugh like a maniac. Met her on Modern Warfare 2. Offered her my hoodie and the hand warmers from my underwear at a music festival. She dated my best friend in high school. They weren't serious and she had a huge crush on me. Cut to years later and my friend tells me I should go on a date with her. Even calls her to come hang out with us. We played some darts with mutual friends and I leaned in and said for good luck while kissing her on the lips. 11 years later and we are still together. She says it's because I found another girlfriend after she initially rejected me. I guess finding a girlfriend after you've been rejected makes you more attractive. We were acquaintances in high school. One day she thought it'd be cool to clean out my locker for me without telling me. I failed to see her kind gesture because I lost the book from that ordeal. For that I yelled at her. Years later after we started dating, she told me that made her want me. I'm still confused by this. I was charmingly awkward when we started dating. I asked her for a job on Tinder. Asked her if she wanted to go for a ride in my motorcycle. She did. That was nearly 30 years ago. The power of imagination. I stalked her online. I was young, horny, and broke. I had a free account on an online dating site that charged to be able to contact people. I found her profile and she had managed to sneak the first half of her email address past the censors, so I googled her several times over the next week until she posted on another website with her email, and then I contacted her out of the blue. Later, after chatting back and forth a few times, she told me where she worked and I said I might swing by sometime. The very next day her boss walked into the back room where she worked and offered to call the cops because some guy who was mispronouncing her name and introduced himself as my name from the internet was looking for her. We've been married for over a decade and have a kid now. Grinning face with clenched teeth. Bonus story. It was raining the day I proposed, so the romantic walk in the park was a no-go. Instead we were walking around a pet store waiting until closer to the movie time to hit the theater. I proposed in the hamster aisle. I still haven't lived that down. Chuck a dart at a family tree and see where it lands. Be friendly and make an effort to smile and ask questions to everyone you meet, not just girls. Get practiced at holding conversations with people and eventually a girl is going to be attracted to you and hopefully you feel the same. Just have longer, more personal conversations with the one you're attracted to and see where it goes. We learn as much in our failures as we do in our successes, but you have to try many times. Just kind of happened after speaking and being friends a few months. With my last one, lasted 6 years, was a great relationship. Have female friends. It goes a freaking long way to just be around women so you aren't scared to talk to one. Eventually you'll be talking 100% casually and being your complete unfiltered self around them. Pretty much every girl I've ever been involved with was one I wasn't trying at ALL to get with. Just one day I realized they were cute and that we're close. So I decided to flirt a little bit. If you know how to joke, you know how to flirt. If you notice they laugh to relieve tension rather than at something that's funny, they could be shy. But if you're 100% chill with them, it's likely sexual tension. Don't jump in 100%. Test the waters and try flirting a little bit. It's not binary. Even if they're interested in you, they might not necessarily say yes to a date or anything overtly romantic in nature. Just take it slow and be considerate of how comfortable they are. Grabbed her by the ponytail and dragged her home. I got stalked by an aspy girl who learned I was depressed. Super empathetic. Had no idea I was uncomfortable around her. She's my manic pixie dream girl. Basically, we were on a video chat and we both said we had something to tell each other, and then my GF's brother screams, GF's name. Likes YOUUU, and we've been together for 7 months now, so honestly, as much as I hate him, I kinda owe him. Please subscribe if you liked the video. It really helps the channel to grow. See you again.